Okay. Hello. Now here's my quick review of the Sega CD. Okay. So the Sega CD was released early in the 90s, shortly well not that soon after the release of the Genesis, a couple years. The Sega CD would have competed against the Super Nintendo CD if it was released, but it also competed against the Turbo CD, which I currently do not own. I did own one, but it broke. So, yeah. Okay. So, right here, you got your first model, Sega CD, Model 1, the US model. I really like the logo. It's a C and a D, but it looks like a CD, if that makes sense. It's a tray load. Connects to the side of the Genesis. And it's pretty big when you have the 32X, the Genesis, and the Sega CD. And it's pretty hefty, too. Okay. Now, the next model I have here is the JVC X'Eye. The JVC X'Eye is a combination of the Sega CD and the Genesis. That was made by JVC, because JVC, I believe, made some part in the Genesis. It might have been, yeah, sound chip, I'm pretty sure, in the Sega CD. So they got to make this one. This model actually has better sound than the others. This is a kind of like a remake of the Japanese Wonder Mega 2, which is actually kind of cooler because right here, instead of having controller ports, it has IR ports because the controllers are wireless. And the Wonder Mega version 1 is crazy. It's so cool, but it's so expensive. Just look it up. I can't explain it. It's really cool, though. Okay, and now on the side of this model, you got you got line in with the volume control for that, and then line out for your headphones. Because this actually came with like some software like karaoke and stuff like that. Now this model right here, nothing over here, nothing over here. Has your regular AV out. And right here, I'm pretty sure this was originally for S-Video, but it looks like they got cheap and just blocked it out. But anyway, you could just get that with the standard Genesis AV out, which you can also use the 32X on this, but it makes it difficult to open the disc tray. Then look at this, one AC port. Now, unfortunately, this uses kind of a not so common AC adapter, which I have. I have it actually in my closet also, like my Intellivision that I said on an earlier video. But this is in my closet, but it's actually slightly bigger than a Genesis power cable. It's got the same polarity as a Genesis Model 1, negative to positive. And this is slightly more power though, because the standard Genesis power is 9 volts, but this is 9.5. However, I heard you can use a Genesis Model 1 because this is how it goes. As long as it's the same polarity and AC or DC, whatever one it is, it will work fine. As long as it won't harm it if it's lower, the voltage is lower. Like if you used a 9 volt on here, it probably would work and it wouldn't hurt it because it's less power. But as soon as you go to more power, that's when you start damaging stuff, like if you use 10 volt. Okay, so on this side, not too much. Now what I find weird is if you can see, there's like a little plastic ridge around here. Like there was supposed to be some expansion port or something. I have no idea what that is. Okay, now on the bottom, cool thing you get is a manufacture date, which this one is made in June 94. You got your serial number. That's some JVC sticker. You got your FCC sticker. Rubber feet, and not too much. Okay. That's what you get about with this system. And this is just a nice little tray load. Very nice. This is like the most expensive version of the Sega CD. Unless you count the Pioneer Laser Actives with the Sega pack, because then that blows this thing out of the water for price-wise. Okay. Next you got probably the best version to get. The Genesis Sega CDX. I got this version at the swap meet for 15 bucks, and it came with a 32X. Cool thing about this, I wouldn't recommend doing it anymore. If you don't want to break it, is you could actually put in 2 AA batteries and use this as like a little CD player. Hook it up to your headphones and you're ready to go. You got your power up here. Once again, it uses a special power, 9.5 volts, negative to positive. Unfortunately, I don't have the AC adapter for this because it's another rare one just like the JVC X'Eye. But I usually just use a Game Gear adapter. Works fine. And then right here on this side you got your AV out. And I'm guessing it's on the side and not the back because of the battery compartment being right here. Would have been nicer if it was on the back, but oh well. Then here you got your power button. Got your ports and weird sides. And the only thing bad about this is certain things like your wireless adapters for the Genesis won't work on this. But in every other model of the Genesis or Sega, even the Genesis 3 will work. So then you get reset button right there. Play buttons for being the CD player. Got your open. And then let's see what it says on the back. Once again, get some more information, serial number. Pretty low serial number, it actually looks like. Then, okay. January 1994, this was manufactured. Not too much. Then they got here probably the most common version of the Sega CD, which is also my last version of the Sega CD, which is just the one that went with the Model 2 Genesis, the Model 2 Sega CD, or Mega Drive CD, or whatever it's, Mega CD, whatever it's called, wherever you're from. This beast uses 2 AC adapters. If you have the 32X, it also uses 3. Then here I got a Sega CD 32X video in there. Then right here I got a power, reset, AV. I mean, why do I keep saying everything AV is AV today? Okay, then you got your plugs right here. Some weird tray thing it sits on. And then on the back, whoa, this thing is a beast. It's huge. You got your AV out. Your sound out, your power, your headphone jack out for audio mixing with the Genesis Model 1. You got your power out. Here's the 32X, you got your power. Your AV out, your AV in, which connects this cable to the back of the Genesis. And let's see what it says on the bottom of this. Let's see, unfortunately it's upside down. So let's see if I could do this. Yep, not too much on the bottom on this one. The bottom isn't that strange looking. Okay. Now here's my recommendations for which model is good for you. If you just want to get a super cheap model and you already have a Genesis, just go with this model, but this is probably the ugliest version. My personal favorite is the Sega CD Model 1 tray load. Unfortunately, this model has a lot of problems with like the tray not wanting to stay in. So like keep opening and closing. But eventually it'll work. So that's a problem. And this is also probably one of the more expensive models. Okay. Next, you got the JVC X'Eye, which probably I'd recommend as being the model to get, because it's built in, uses one power supply, and generally this system's kind of expensive, but you can get it cheap. Like, this system can sell in between the hundreds all the way down to 50. Just depends on the shape and everything. I got this at the Goodwill for a pretty low price. Has these weird colored buttons right here. Unfortunately, there is one problem with these systems that happens. Well, actually two, now that I think of it. The first problem isn't that big of a deal. Mine doesn't have any of these problems, but right there where a plunger will hit, let's see, wait for it to focus. A plunger from the top will hit this to tell it that the door is closed. We'll hit this, and then this hits another button. But unfortunately, the button can get bent over time, and it will keep saying that the door is open, but that's not a difficult fix. However, the big problem these things get is, I don't know why, but some reason, this actually has happened to me, because this is the second JVC X'Eye I've had. The first one had this problem, so I just got rid of it. I actually sold it for parts. Actually got more money than I paid for it still, so that was good. Okay, but this one works, but the one, like the first one I had, which is a problem with these, is some reason the Genesis side always seems to work on these things. But some reason, a lot of times the Sega CD side won't work. Like, when you turn it on without a cartridge in, it'll like boot up the Sega CD BIOS, which is slightly different for the JVC X'Eye, and then it'll just freeze. Like, the Sega CD part will just crash. Like, it won't work. And I have no idea how you'd fix that. There's probably something wrong with it. It could be an easy fix, could be a difficult fix. If you know how to fix that, then you get broken versions of these, usually cost around $30, so that's not too expensive. So right here, if you can get a working one, it's probably the best model of the Sega CD to get. And then the last model, which is probably the ultimate best version to get, but is also probably the most expensive version, is the Genesis Sega CDX. The reason I'd get this version is because it's like super small, it uses one AC adapter, and is actually pretty portable. And it's the lightest one. Takes up the least amount of room, and generally these things are built to last. I'm not aware of problems with these. There probably is, I imagine, because most old electronics nowadays always has some sort of problems, but I don't know of any. And this is ultimately the best version to get, but also is probably the most expensive version to get. So then I would go with the second choice, which is the X'Eye. So, hope this kind of helped you guys out with the Sega CD. Over and out.